Warning, this discussion will talk about leaked photos Disney did not want you to see. If you did not see them, or you don't want to hear about them because of potential spoilers, please avoid this bonus content show, and feel free to enjoy the rest of our spoiler-free content throughout our podcast catalog.
Presented by the Making Star Wars Podcasting Network. This is the Cantina Cast, your watering hole for thought-provoking Star Wars discussion, character dissections, quote and scene analysis, honest opinions on the Star Wars news that interests you, and whatever else these guys come up with. Here are your hosts, Mike and Joao.
And welcome to this special bonus episode this week. We thought we'd do something a little special, and I'm still trying not to laugh because of Joa's fabulous reading of that warning before the top of the show. But tonight we're going to talk about the Last Jedi leaked promo pitches and some of the leaked stuff with the toys that have been leaked this week as well. So just another warning, if you do not want to know anything about spoilers or anything like that, now's your time to turn this off and go listen to the Mace Windu character dissection. Or, well, no, that's next week. Go listen to R2. That's what you want to do. Go listen to R2, that dissection, and we'll go from there. But Joao, hello, welcome. Let's get into this, sir.
Hello there. And yeah, I guess the first one is one of our fine Patreon members. They asked us to talk about this, so we're gonna do them a solid and do that. They asked about the black fabric underneath Ray's gray outfit. Ray. 50
Seems to be a thing.
50 Shades of Ray. Oh, I'm not getting into that again. They'll kill me. And it seems to be the same fabric that Kylo's outfit is made out of. What does this mean? So I think we kind of pointed out the similarities between this new outfit she had on episode 178. That's like a long time ago. That was like 14 episodes ago. So it's like, it feels like that was forever ago because you do the math and we do an episode a week. But the Battlefront 2 images came out and they showed us like kind of this new Rey outfit. And we talked about a lot of the similarities. Now, I didn't go as far as making the connection that the black underneath that she's wearing looks like the same fabric that Kylo's outfit is made out of. But the more you look at it,
but I think
they got something here. Now, we talked about the belt that she was wearing in the original thing, which is a different belt now than what we see in this promo picture. The arms, it looks like now they're back to just wrapping her arms, and it doesn't look as much like a pleated pullover. It actually just looks more like a wrapping again. I thought it looked more like a samurai's type drapery over the legs in the original picture we saw. So this is this is a changed outfit a little bit. They've done some alterations to this, I guess you could say.
Well, it's hard to say between the CGI and the computer for Battlefront 2 and then this. It's a little bit, you're not going to get as fine. I don't know. The game's
but those were pictures. Yeah. They were promo pictures like that they gave to Battlefront for the game. Like to be able to make the models for The Last Jedi. I mean, so those look like I believe they were real pictures of the actors in these outfits, but this looks like they've changed her outfit just a little bit. It seems to be the same one with just some alterations to it. So, but now we've got, I don't know. What do you think do you think it means anything?
I think this is the outfit at the end of the movie
well, I do too. But what does it mean that she's got this fabric on underneath? The black in her outfit seems to be what Kylo Ren's costume is made out of. Like, I think it's just probably a symbolism because they do have some connection in the Force with each other.
Well, what's interesting with her looking at this outfit, by the way, which I love this outfit, by the way. I think it's an awesome look for her. It's funny that she's got the black or charcoal, the same material that Kylo is. It's kind of a black charcoal. We'll call it black for the sake of black because there are other drapings are gray, and then you get the whitish, tannish armbands, and then you get the brown in there as well. It's like a mixture of everything. It's almost like she's the balance, so to speak. And it's funny because you see this black. It reminds me of Luke in a little bit, where he had the black, and then you see this little bit of white slither in her neckline, where it's almost like the flap on his Jedi fatigues, or whatever you want to call them, in Return of the Jedi, where it opened up and it was white on the inside. I find it a very fascinating look, and it's interesting that they went with gray. And I know in the second movie, they usually change their outfits, obviously, because the characters develop, I guess, emotionally. Like Luke wasn't the innocent child that he was in A New Hope, and now he grew up in Empire Strikes Back, where it's a different look. Same thing here, and even with Kylo a little bit. We'll get into him in a moment, but I think this is the best look I've seen of Rey. It's just very interesting. I like it. It's just I don't know, appeals to me. And even the belt, like underneath it, that's like a darker gray. It's not even a black. I would call that more just gray underneath. Like I don't know. What are your thoughts on the image itself? Like, do you prefer this? Do you like this? I mean, obviously, it's at the end of the movie. I think near the end of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it seems. Honestly, I like her. My favorite look. I mean, this is the third look we've kind of seen her in. My favorite look, I think, is what we see her in at the end of The Force Awakens, and we'll get to see some of that, or probably a lot of that in The Last Jedi as well. She's kind of still be wearing that same outfit. So I think that's my favorite look that she's got, of the outfits that she wears. This one, I do like. I am interested in why it kind of looks like, she took Kylo Ren's outfit and chopped it up and put it on as almost like an undergarment.
I killed him.
I killed him and took his. Well, I mean, back in the day, wasn't the lore of Darth Vader was that he took all those pieces of armor and like from people he killed, and that's like how it was like an amalgamation. Like I remember hearing that way back.
I don't remember that, but it's possible.
I think that, I don't know, maybe it was somebody else's head canon that came into my head canon or something, but maybe it was old fan fiction or something back from the 80s or something. I mean, I'm talking way before the prequels. This is what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that that's what's going on here. I think that I think it's just a symbolism because, one way or another, I think they're family. So I think that it's just, you mentioned Luke with the sliver, and she's kind of got that going on with the up there in the chest area, the same way he did. Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. I think it's just I think it's visual symbolism.
Well, it's interesting because there was I think it's a young adult novel, or maybe it's something to do with the comics. It was a recent promo, I think last week or the week before, of Luke, where he has like that type of belt and that type of almost garb. It's almost like Kylo, but Kylo is obviously the darker version of that. It looks a little similar, almost what we see at the end of The Force Awakens and stuff. So it'll be really cool. I'm just curious she doesn't have the hood on, right, or the cloak. That would have sealed the deal for me at this look. It's interesting. She's got that leather wrist wrapping around her on her hand there. I don't know what that is per se. What do you any guess onto that?
It looks like something I made in shop class. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like one of those leather watches that you would put on, like the big, thick, something like that. Like,
I don't really have nothing revolutionary here, but.
No, well, you can't see what exactly it is. But, all right, well, let's get into my man, Luke, who's really looking like he was dumpster diving. I'm sorry, but he really looks like he's got like this, like the hood and the cloak and everything's pretty cool, but then he's got this I don't know what you would call it. It's like it's one of those rain things that you'd put over the poncho.
Yeah, this is what I used to call Kylo's original. That's what I used to call it, a poncho, like his little hood thing. But yeah, this is more of a drape. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a full thing. I mean, he's full Frank Gallagher here. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, he looks more like it looks. The cape looks more like Krennic's in a way because it comes over the shoulder. Like when we first see Krennic in Rogue One, where it's more a part of his outfit. It's not like the Lando version here. It's like,
I mean, it rains a lot in Ireland, so.
Well, yeah, true, it does. But this is the one where Luke's arms are spread wide out, like saying, "Come hug me, Rey, I'm your daddy," type of thing. And of course, he's got his glove on, that glove that we saw in the trailer and stuff like that. But it's interesting because that cape looks more like it's like, I guess like it's like waterproofish. Like it looks, I don't know. That's how I see it, but I don't know. I could be wrong. It looks like it just drapes over. Like the hood doesn't look like it's part of the cape. Because when you go down, well, maybe it is. I don't know. Because when we got that other image,
like it to me, no.
Yeah,
right.
all right.
You're right. I think it's just like I think it's like a weatherproofing for him. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It's like a jacket, like a half jacket. I don't know. It's hard to say. He's got his little belt there. I think it's a pretty good look for Luke. I can't see anything bad about it. I prefer him in the black robes, but this is interesting that he's all more like. Do you think he's more Dooku? Because I know Jason posted stuff where he kind of looks more like maybe color wise Dooku, or is it more like Anakin, the dark brown? I think it's more Anakin, the dark brownish. If you ask me, I don't know. It's interesting that his glove is more orangey or yellowish than the rest of everything else. But anyway, what else you got? You want to go into the walking stick here, or what do we got here?
Yeah, the walking, because I assume that's like a snake head.
It looks like it.
It looks like to me. Well, I just remember in the ultimate all-time Star Wars documentary, Empire Strikes Back. Not Empire Strikes Back. The what is it? You know what it is?
Empire Dreams.
Yeah, the Empire of Dreams. I Freudian slip there. But Empire of Dreams. Mark Hamill gets bitten by one of the snakes on Dagobah, like on the set of they've got real snakes there, and he's like, it gave me he's like, it bit me, and he's like, just a little love bite, So it nipped it. He's like, it nipped me. So he got bit by a snake on the set. Nothing serious here, folks. I'm not trying to make a bigger deal out of this, but it's just funny now, and it looks like now he's got And obviously snakes are canon because we saw the snakes on Dagobah. They were crawling around and in the trees and things like that. And that's why they had them on set. And that's how he got bit by one. So interesting. Now, I know is it supposed to be a walking stick? It looks really, really short to be a walking, like, I guess.
It's like a climbing stick.
Well, yeah, it's not like a Gandalf stick where you're holding it up. Like where he's holding it, you couldn't walk with it that way.
I wouldn't call it a walk. Yeah,
he would have to put his hand over the snake's head and almost use it like an elderly person. You get what I'm saying? How they would use a cane to walk. That's how short this cane is.
It's more like a weapon.
It's not a staff. It's a cane, and he would have to. If he was going to use it to walk, and I don't know, I mean, is Luke that decrepit that he...
Well, it's like a baseball bat. It looks like it's about the size of a baseball bat. About that, I would say.
I'd say it's maybe a little longer than a baseball bat. With that snake head on top, I'd say that's what makes it longer, and maybe the few inches. I'd say where Luke's hand ends, where his pinky is at, I'd say from where his pinky to the bottom of it would be the size of a baseball bat, just based on the perception of this picture we're looking at. And then from his entire hand and the snake head would make it that much longer than a baseball bat. So that's a good way to look at it. But still, he would have to knob it with his palm, and he'd have to walk with it with his palm. He couldn't hold it the way he's holding it in the picture and use it to walk with, because it wouldn't reach the ground.
No, exactly. So
I feel like I'm getting way too serious about this walking stick. Like I'm going way too in depth about this. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Tune into the Cantina Cast where we dissect.
Does Luke need knee surgery? What's going on?
Walking sticks on the Cantina Cast next episode.
Is he house? Like, what's going on? Like, did he have an infarction in his leg? I mean, what's going on here?
No, I see this almost if he's on Oct 2, or granted, nobody knows how you say it these days, I guess. Is the fact that Ashto? What?
Ashto. It's Ashto. That just sounds like something else now, so never mind.
Yeah, all right. So, in any case, I'm looking at it, if they're on that planet where they got to climb up, as you saw Rey going up with her staff, she was leaning on it. It's almost like something like that, where he's climbing up the steps. He's older now. He's not like Rey, and Rey was even struggling up those steps a little bit. I would be. Where you're just going up the steps. You're just using it to brace yourself that way. It's not so much as a walking stick. It's more of like a hiking stick, I guess you could say, just to kind of give you a little bit of balance when you climb.
Hiking sticks more like the Gandalf staff? Like,
nah, not always. Not always.
Like
not always.
I would want something where I could have it up by my chest. For me personally, I would I'd want a big stick where I could. It was almost as tall as me, and I could brace it up by my neck, and I could use that to brace myself, like the way, because Rey's staff is obviously very long, as you were describing and talking about. That's the kind of way I almost wonder I almost wonder if Luke has trouble moving around here. Is he a little bit like Yoda? Are they going to go there with that? I don't know.
Is he playing like that? Is he playing that though? Like Yoda really wasn't.
He fashioned the staff just to do, but then when it comes to using the Force, then he can pull out all the moves like Yoda could, right?
Exactly. Well, here's the other thing. We'll jump. Put Jason's rumors, I guess you could say, is where it actually has a probe where he shocks, I don't know, the animals that are on Ahch-2 or whatever you want to call it, Ahch-2. I'm going to call it Ahch-2 for the sake of Ahch-2, and everyone knows it as that. Where he does what he does. It's obviously, it could be used as more of a weapon than necessarily a walking stick. It's just, it looks like, who knows? Maybe there's a saber in there like Darth Maul had. I mean, it's obviously shorter than what Darth Maul even had. Where Darth Maul could kind of, it was at his waist and he could like lean on it a little bit when he was talking. This is shorter than that. It's like below that. So I don't know. It is very interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
We've really dissected a walking stick. I mean, this is true Cantina Cast style. Like, this is the character dissection of a walking stick.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, what do you think of the snake head? If it's not a snake head, is this reference to the monster that's supposedly on the island there that, Rey has to deal with? Like, maybe
it's in reference to the monster that lies within Luke.
Oh, that's very poetic, man. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that now. I mean, that's kind of, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and again, we'll move on from the walking stick because we've spent way more time than that on it. Is the fact that Luke, like, if you're looking at his arms here, he's got the cloth underneath, but then you got like another thing over that. Like, I don't know. This is a very interesting, complex look. Like, he's like I don't know what to make of it, but it looks pretty cool. Looks like he was dumpster diving, but it's in a cool, fashionable way, I guess you could say. But I guess we should get to do you want to go to Kylo or do you want to go to Snoke? Which one do you want to go to? I mean, we could, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, let's do Snoke. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into.
I'm ready to talk about some Snoke.
Because I got to be honest, I was getting bored with the whole Snoke thing. He's a new character. He's Plagueis and all this. I've had enough of all that. It's actually rather boring now. But then we get these images, and of course, we've seen everyone parody, with everyone was the Snoke theory, throwing up all those pictures where, there's Ezra, then you got Janasta Canoe there, or whatever her name is there.
Did you see Steele as Snoke? That was disturbing. Yeah. And I love the guys, somebody commented and said, thanks, now I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah, well,
something like that. And I chuckled at that. That was, I mean, Steele, obviously, our buddy Steele on the network here that we're on, obviously he is the guy behind Snoke or not behind Snoke. We don't really know what is his true feeling.
What is his stance? Other than just theory sucks. I don't know what
maybe his theory is the only one that doesn't suck. So maybe we need his theory, or maybe he's too afraid to have a theory because then his theory would also suck. All right, this is turning into the walking stick all over again. Never mind.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get into Snoke here. What are your thoughts on? We get a little better, clearer image of. Obviously, he's got pink skin and he's got his baby blue eyes, as Jason reported earlier last week, and he's got the gold robe on, which we kind of Jason's reported on because Jason's 99.99% right half the time here, all the time. I shouldn't say half the time. Yeah, and then and then half the time he's right. But anyway,
I love that math.
Yeah, I'm great at math. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Jason's usually right. So what did you think of these injuries? Because I wasn't thinking too much of these injuries. I was thinking more of like an explosion, maybe. I wasn't necessarily... Maybe I had that whole Tarkin thing in my head for some stupid reason, which it isn't Tarkin. I just want to make that clear. But then we had one of our friends in the Discord channel. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head.
It was Joe.
Oh, all right. So there you go, Joe. And he's pointing out lightsaber injuries. And I'm saying, how do you survive a lightsaber going through your head? And you were a smart ass, of course, and stuff. So I don't know. What do you think of these injuries? What do you think of Snoke? He kind of looks like Freddy Krueger just on a good day. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, one side, he's definitely got a two-face thing going on here. I mean, it's because the one side of his face and his neck is actually pretty pristine, besides the fact that he just looks old, like he's just old on that side.
Yeah.
But then the other side, and it starts with that scar above on the forehead, above the nose, and then it goes to the other side that's so damaged. To me, his neck looks like a wild tree trunk.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
like it looks like a weird growth of a weird tree trunk in the rainforest or something, and then it goes into his jaw, and obviously he's missing part of his jaw. And the lightsaber thing you brought up, like people have a theory, it looks like the entry wound is the head, and there's two lightsabers that could have went through his head, through his jaw, and then through his neck down there, I guess. And those would be the wounds. And then obviously you have the temple on the damaged side. His eye droops way down. It's
in his ear.
It's like a 45. It's like one side of his head is caving in, and his neck is like caving. It's like one side of him is so damaged, and the other side is kind of pristine, and it kind of makes me, the light side and the dark, and then when you can, Two-Face, and it like he's like the physical manifestation. And there's those, the thing out there about he likes Kylo because he's the light and the dark. Like he actually, like that's intriguing about Kylo, is that he's both. But in a physical manifestation, on one side, Snoke is kind of pristine, and then on the other side, light, and then a dark. He's almost like a physical manifestation right down the middle of his face through his neck of
the dichotomy.
We say normal looking alien or whatnot. And then and now one thing I'll point out is the bridge of his nose. I find to be extra wide. Now they say he's not. We don't necessarily know that he's human, but they say he's humanoid, and we think that he's very tall, like Shaquille O'Neal tall, 7 foot tall or something. But I find the bridge of his nose very expressive to me. It looks almost like more like an animal's nose in a way. Like it reminds me of the Cathar. Is that how you say it? From the Old Republic video game. You could play as those, or get them as your companions and things like that. Now they had all kinds of cat features going on, but they had that big bridge and the big nose like that. Now the bottom of his nose looks more human. Now it is a big nose, but I mean, he's got a really big bridge on the nose. I know people are fascinated by the bridge of noses, but it's just another thing that pointed out to me. But yeah, definitely the Two-Face stuff and the tree trunk looking neck on that side. And it just looks like he's, it's just caving in by the day. That whole, from our perspective, the right side, I guess it would be his left side is caving in.
Well, if you look at it one way, is if it was the lightsaber, it's basically they pieced together his face again. That's how I would like the eye socket looks like it was somehow damaged. See, how I took it initially is that this is what my theory was, because we kind of get a feeling that Luke and him had a confrontation, and this is why maybe he fears Luke and all that other stuff. And this is where Luke tapped into the Force lightning here and just juiced the hell out of him, and he somehow survived. Like I was assuming that was like a burn in The Force Awakens. Now that we get a clearer image, it could be a burn and a lightsaber. Who knows what it is? I'm very curious to see what those injuries really are. Even if do we get anything? I wouldn't even mind if we don't get any backstory, because remember, one of the beautiful things about
it looks like a piece of his skull is actually missing.
Yeah,
I almost wonder where,
and the eye socket.
Yeah, I mean, there's bones missing everywhere. He doesn't have part of his jaw. Obviously, that's missing. But I almost wonder where the top is. Did they transplant from the side of his skull over where that top is, because you would think that top, the skull would be missing. But I wonder if they took, you see how the side is indented?
Yeah.
Would they, like, we're talking like major reconstructive surgery here. Would they have taken that face as best they could? You would need your skull where the temple is at. And that's where it seems to be. It seems to me if a lightsaber went through him in the head and in that forehead there, that he wouldn't have the bone there either. But it looks like, I mean, like almost like half of his face was almost completely chopped off in a way. And there's definitely, he had to have had, I mean, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, just it's he's a fugly looking guy, man.
Well, I mean, the other theory could be, is that face actually just like a mask? Like they took a skull and kind of put it over his real face that was messed up, but that wouldn't make sense because
he's already Stark.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you want. All right, well, that's enough with Snoke. We've gone on with Snoke a little long there, just like the walking stick. But we'll get into Kylo here. What are your thoughts on his look? We get a little bit better. The pattern, it looks exactly like Rey's pattern underneath the tunic, I guess you could say it is.
No,
or
I feel like his, now that I look at this, I'm not 100% sure. Hers looks a little bit. I'm going to scroll back up here. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. It doesn't. Yeah, it's not as pleated or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his is more like, his design is more wide on the chest and stuff. Now this might be different than what he wore. What it looks like, what she's wearing, it looks like the poncho that he wore in The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
it looks like that. It doesn't look like what he wears now. Now this looks like he's got a different outfit, and it just looks a little different there. So, well, and then you see how it comes up.
Yeah,
like I don't think it did that before. So, like where it's below his belt, where it's kind of blowing up there.
Yeah,
it's completely that before. So this is a slight. It looks the same on initial reaction, but it's not the same outfit.
Yeah, and then of course his arm is obviously, it looks like an accordion, I guess you could say, almost like the Praetorian guards there with it's just smaller and it's cloth.
That's the pleated look, I guess you would call it. I don't know what else you would call it besides that ruffled look, but it's not ruffles. It's not
ruffles like Seinfeld ruffles. No. It's
the only thing I know to call it is pleated. So I'm just
pleated works well. Interesting. The cape actually, I think, is working very well. I don't have a problem with it. And then that was that other picture we saw, I think in the teaser trailer, where he's standing and you got the mask and then the cape around him. It looked actually pretty good. It actually looked better than the Force Awakens Kylo Ren, and you can see more of his scar on this one, the particular image. There's a few other images there. But Kylo looks a little unhinged a bit. Almost like Luke a little. Like they both look like they're really off the deep end, so to speak. And of course, one
thing we have to take into consideration with any looks on anyone's faces and I think these are promotional.
Well, of course.
I don't even think they're promotional pictures. So let me say that. I think these are pictures taken for the sole reason of getting an idea of the outfit, because you look how they're outstretched.
Yeah.
They've got their arms out, and I think these are just, they're not even promotional pictures. Like, oh, we're going to release these as kind of
promos.
I think that these are pictures taken for the creative side of things. And like, let's make sure it looks good from all angles kind of thing.
Yeah,
if
probably.
That makes any sense. Like,
because Kylo,
I don't know if they were ever going to release some of this stuff. Like the Rey thing with her hand, like spreading
outstretched.
Her hand out, and then Luke the same way. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't seem like a promotional picture to me. Now, maybe the one with Luke where he's got the staff, that one looks more like a promotional picture to me. Or maybe the Kylo, but even the Snoke doesn't. It just looks like, let's make sure we got the look right here.
Well, and then there's the one of Kylo where he's bent over in a extremely kind of awkward pose. And that might have been to get that, on the video game where he's doing that shoulder look there, I guess you could say, on Battlefront 2. That might have been something for that. Who knows? I know, and then people were poking fun of, they were doing the old Batman thing where he's part of Batman climbing up the wall and everything. They had a lot of fun with it and stuff like that. But yeah, Kylo's more the same. I think I like his look now in The Last Jedi than I did in The Force Awakens. I think it's a much better look, and the cape I think is pretty cool. So I guess we'll wrap this up here in a minute, Joe. I just wanted to get into a few things that I noticed with the action figures. There's not much. I mean, these are the smaller action figures. They're not the 6-inch, which we would have. Because I was looking actually, even in this promo picture of Rey, even though we don't know if it's a promo picture or not, and everything else on these action figures, I was looking for that gash that supposedly is on the 6-inch figure. I know some people thought that she had an injury on her arm or something on one of the action figures in San Diego Comic-Con, and then that was quickly covered up or whatever. I was looking for that. I didn't see that. But two things that jumped out at me with the action figures is the name of it. It's called Force Link, and it reminded me of what in 1999 when the action figures were coming out. You had the Comlink thing where you have the figures, you got the little microchip and you put them on there, and then you put the thing and it would talk. It kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if that's it. I didn't get into it too much. I just thought the choice of words, Force Link, made me think of Kylo and obviously Rey, and our discussion with the Kylo Ren and Rey conversation we had a couple episodes ago. And of course with Luke as well. So the Force Link made me think of that, and maybe that's, read into that whatever you want. I don't know if you do, Joa, but the thing that struck at me, and I sent this to Becca, and I probably shouldn't because she got excited and started thinking of Ahsoka Tano, which a lot of people did, so I can't blame her. I did for a split second. I don't think it means anything because even in our Discord channel with me and I can't remember who I was talking to, but we were saying it's kind of an awkward pose to be, because one hand is stretched one way, like she's holding her staff, like you can't see it. It's off the card back. You can't see it, but she's holding the lightsaber backwards like Ahsoka would, or Starkiller, which is interesting because you think of Starkiller base and then you think of all that. But Joe, do you think it means anything? I don't think it means anything. It's just a promotional thing. I don't think it, actually, if I am right, if you look up her sleeve, am I seeing this now, Joe, where there's a bit of red up on her upper arm? Could that be blood? Could that be the mark?
Looks like a scar to me.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. She does get hurt, Joa. Yeah. She doesn't lose an arm, but she gets hurt.
It doesn't look like a lightsaber wound because it would cauterize.
Yeah, so is this from the...
It would have to be a glancing blow like Obi-Wan got, but probably from the Praetorian guards here.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Swords and knives. So, yeah, I see it too. I see what you're talking about, and I didn't notice it. And you're describing it, I'm like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, because it looks like the red behind her, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see it now. Like, it's definitely there. It looks like a fresh wound. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, look at that. We did find something on this show. We've discovered something. How about that? But
well, who knows? Other people, who knows at this point?
Yeah, I'm sure other people saw. Yeah,
pointed out. So it's so hard to keep up with. There's 8 million facets of the internet. Like, you don't know who's seen what and talked about what. So, but anyway, yeah, I see it now as we talk about it. Yes.
All right. So any thoughts on her holding the lightsaber the particular way that she is? I'd said to Becca last night.
I think that could be her holding the staff that way, and then they just edited the lightsaber.
Well, that's that. Yes,
I just don't even know.
That is possible, and I also thought like maybe she called the lightsaber, and that's just how it went in her hand, and she ignites it that way, and she has a staff in the other. Who knows what it is? I don't think it's much. Maybe they just raised her arm so they would hide that.
Yeah, I mean, she's not a cartoon character. She can't fight that way with it. I mean,
well, no, me and a few of the others in the Discord channel had said that's not really a practical way to fight. I mean, it works with Ahsoka, but
you see how she grips the lightsaber in The Force Awakens. It's almost like it's too big for her, and it's that samurai way, the two-handed. How they
she's a stabby.
In A New Hope.
Yeah, she's very stabby.
I mean, and she's I'm not saying she's small, but I mean she's I don't want to say petite, but she's she's not Adam Driver, like, who's like kind of like a big person. Like, I mean, she's I think Daisy Ridley's like 5'6", 5'7", I mean, and she's female, has a little bit smaller hands. She grips the lightsaber with two hands. Like, I just don't see her pulling off like, she's not a cartoon character. I mean, it's going to be a real thing. Like, and I don't mean that to sound offensive or anything like that, but I mean, just realistically, like, you could fight that way, but is it real? Is it going to come off as like a realistic fighting style if it's not in Rebels or the Clone Wars? I mean, again, it's not Ahsoka where it's kind of this, Flash or Star Killer, where it's supposed to be, video game, like animated, where it's like flashy and it's just more of a way to look cool, but it's not like, practical, I guess. That's where I'm really trying to get at. It's not going to be a practical way to hold your lightsaber and fight. And we've seen sort of the way she fights. She holds it two hands, just the same way we saw Alec Guinness and David Prowse in the original Star Wars do it. It's that samurai way of kind of holding it. And it doesn't surprise me that she needs to hold it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, and I think she's more of the stab, kind of like Palpatine. Like she goes in for she did that several times against Kylo, where she was just going in to stab. I don't know if that means she's not. It probably means she's not disciplined well, where she's just going in for just doing these motions.
Well, and
whereas,
we also see, and I'll point this out though, just to defend myself from that previous statement, Mike. We see Kylo Ren holding his own hilt in that behind the scenes trailer. Remember, he's holding two hands on his hilt, like together, and then like pushing outwards, like it's that staff motion, almost like this, but he has two hands on it and he's pushing out and defending himself against the one attack where he's in that training thing in the behind the scenes. So I think they're probably going to try to do some little bit of unorthodox things, but I mean, what are we saying here, that Rey is Ahsoka? So like,
no,
let's not go crazy here.
No, I think practically in the physical world that we're in, man, woman, child, or whatever, holding a lightsaber like that doesn't work. Because I've done that with my lightsaber that I have here. It's not you can't get that motion that you want with it. Like you can't turn it upright to do what you want to do. If you have another one in your hand, like if
you don't have any range of motion at that point. Like look at where she's at. What can she do from that position?
Not much, but block.
You don't. Maybe I think you had a good idea. She calls it to her and she blocks an attack, and then she has to readjust or whatever. That's just kind of the thing. Or it's just a cool pose that she's doing, and it's just kind of like, boom, give me a dab or something. I don't know. That's what it looks like.
A dab. Oh my God, my daughter started dabbing out of nowhere the other day. I don't know where she got it, but it's frightening to me.
She got it from Rey.
Well, she loves Rey. Rey's her favorite, and I'm glad she loves Rey because I love Rey as well. And it's just interesting we discovered the wound on her, and that's more exciting to me than this backwards holding of the lightsaber and stuff. So, but I don't know. Do you got any other thoughts on any of these leaks or anything else, and we'll just wrap it up?
No, I saw some of the other toys. I don't think that there's anything that we haven't seen before, though, so I don't know.
Yeah, nothing jumps out at me with the toys anyway. I'm looking for the 6-inch to see how they're done. The Rey, from what I saw, looks pretty good, the 6-inch. But I don't know. I'm always up in the air when it comes to the action figures now. I'm more into the sideshow, bigger action figures, but that's just me. But nothing jumped out at you. Like, I know when The Force Awakens comes out, there was that, oh, hey, we're going to check this out, check that out. I imagine we're going to get more leaks as we get closer to September as well, so...
Oh, yeah. It's coming up. We've got just less than a month left, so or just about a month left, I guess, or right there at it. So there it is. It's exciting times. I might actually try to do the Force Friday this time. I might have to just sleep during the day because I have to get up early and work. But what I could do is I could just sleep all day after I get off work and then go at midnight and then just go to work early in the morning after that and do the whole midnight thing and just make kind of a night of it, a day of it, and go to work after that. So it might be pretty cool to do that and experience it this time because I didn't go out for the Force Awakens Force Friday. So I might do it this time and maybe just pick up one or two things, probably all Rey.
I did it last time with Tom, and this year Tom's like, well, I don't think I'm doing it because I think I'll just sleep in. I might try it before I don't know. We'll see. It was kind of fun lining up and doing those things. It was interesting to say the least, but I don't really there's not much out there that I want to sink my teeth into for some reason right now from what I've seen. That could change, as the leaks come out and we see more things, I might want to explore that a little bit more. Maybe get into
I know there's already ones out there, but if they bring it back out and it's just everywhere, like if they do Rey's FX lightsaber, I might invest. And it's Luke because it's Anakin's, it's Luke's, it's Rey's.
Skywalker saber.
I've got the Vader FX lightsaber. I've got Vader's. So it's like, why not get this one? Because now it pertains to 3 characters, and literally you would have the lightsaber of 3.
It's quite the deal.
Well, you'd have
I have it, by the way.
You'd have all 3 protagonists. So it's like I might invest and just get it, even if they don't re-release. I mean, maybe I'll just end up doing that because it's not too bad of a purchase, really. You probably get them for $125. So whatever.
I actually have. I have I call it the Skywalker saber. So I actually have it, and my daughter takes it from me all the time, or tries to. So I had to get her one of those, build your lightsaber things just to get her away from my lightsaber, and she loves it. So, but that's about it. I guess we don't have anything else to talk about for this bonus episode. So it's been fun. Joey, why don't you tell them where to like us, find us, and throw in anything else you want to do?
Well, just let us know if you enjoyed this kind of spoilerish content. Do you want us to do more of these? We want to do more bonus shows, maybe like an extra bonus show per month. Is this the kind of stuff you want out of it, or would you like us to go in a different direction? We release every Wednesday. So we're talking about doing one, either a 5th or a 6th episode every month, depending on how many Wednesdays there are in a month. So guys, just let us know. And the way you can let us know is emailing us at cantinacastfanmail@gmail.com, facebook.com/thecantinacast, @thecantinacast on Instagram and Twitter, and, hashtag 100 days of the Last Jedi. Yeah. Well,
I don't think we mentioned that. You should probably explore a little bit more because we did that on the. Yeah, go ahead.
Listen to the Mace Windu dissection, and I explained it at the beginning of the show. It's just a promotional thing we've got going on. I don't want to go too long-winded with it here because I do that enough on that episode. But if you check out our Instagram or our Facebook, you kind of get where we're going, and it's just a promotional thing. And we're trying to get even more people to listen to the show. And just help us out. Hashtag, use that 100 days of the Last Jedi when, wherever, because we're going to be doing pre-hype to the movie, and then 50 days before, and then 50 days after the movie comes out, we're still going to be talking Last Jedi. We're going to be doing all kinds of things, review show, listener feedback review show, Luke, Rey, Snoke, Leia, Poe, Finn, everybody, all the character dissections going all the way through the end of January, starting in late October, and it ends up being 100 days, and that's what we're doing. It's a seasonal, 12 days of Christmas type of feel, but it's 100 days of the Last Jedi, and so that's it.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this bonus episode. If you did, like Joe said, let us know, and maybe we'll do more of them. Later. You're still listening? Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here to give you the disclaimer. Normally we do a big, long, drawn-out disclaimer thing saying what's what and who's what and all that other stuff, but I think you guys kind of know that Lucasfilm and Disney have no affiliation with us at all, and we have none with them. We talk about Star Wars, which is their property, and all that other good, fun stuff, but I think you can tell which is our stuff and which is their stuff. If you can't, well, then send a lawyer to send an email to me, and I'll be glad to chat with them. Other than that, you know what's what, so that's your disclaimer.